Tired of paying $20, $30, or even $40 for a jar of tallow skincare? In today's short, I'm going to show you how to make 5 times the amount you'd get for a $25 purchase. Along with a few other items, all you really need is beef fat, water, and salt. To get started, you'll need some beef fat. You can find this at your local butcher or a grocery store. The average price is about $2 per pound, and the butcher will even run it through the grinder for you. Here, I took 4 pounds of beef fat, cubed it up, and ran it through the food processor. With the fat in the crock pot, I added about 6 cups of water, right along with 3 to 4 tablespoons of salt. With the crock pot set to low, and about halfway through, I turn it on high. With an occasional stir, I let the beef fat render for about 8 to 10 hours. After it's cooled down a bit, I strain the beef fat through a cheesecloth and a metal sieve. Now let the beef fat cool on your countertop for a little while. Cover it with plastic and refrigerate overnight. After refrigerating overnight, you'll have a cake of beef tallow. Now you can stop here and use it to cook with, but for skincare, you're going to want to render it 3 to 4 times to draw out as much of the impurities as you can. Here, you'll continue to scrape the impurities off of that beef cake from the top and the sides. Now we'll take our white as snow beef tallow cake, quarter it, add about 4 cups of water and 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. Let it render on high anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours. For best results, I've rendered my beef fat once and purified 3 times to make perfect skincare. Now that I've purified the tallow 3 times, let's get into the fun stuff. Start by setting up a double boiler. Add just enough water to the bottom of the pan just so it heats the bottom of the double boiler pan. I picked this one up for $1 at Goodwill, but before that, this was how I did it. Hey, you gotta work with what you've got. Bring the heat to a low to medium setting. You just want the water to simmer, you don't want it to boil. After you've scraped and chopped your fat, add it to the double boiler. For this recipe, I only used half the cake, and the other half I'll use to cook or make another batch. Once the tallow has melted, I add it to a glass measuring cup. Here I have 2 cups of tallow. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of carrier oil to every 1 cup of tallow. Now is the time when you put in any desired scents. Play around with it with strengths and different scents. Then you're going to add it to the refrigerator for a little while, just until it begins to solidify, and whip it as needed. Pour it in your jars, being careful not to make a huge mess, and voila! These make amazing little gifts for thank yous, birthdays, or just to say I love you. With a little bit of time and a little mess, you can make purified beef tallow skincare from your own kitchen for pennies on the dollar.